The following is a production of Golden Boy Media and Entertainment.
Paddle boats in Echo Park, downtown Los Angeles in the distance. Another edition of the LA Fight Club. There's Oscar De La Hoya statue outside Staples Center. Ready to come your way. Oscar Duarte, Chihuahua, Mexico, undefeated. Christian Chimpa Gonzalez, 12 big KOs. And our main event from Tijuana, Tony Gutierrez. That's next on Ring TV Live. The sun is setting in downtown Los Angeles. Friday night of Labor Day weekend. If it's the first Friday of the month, that means the LA Fight Club is sold out at the Velasco Theater. Another great addition. The crowd is fired up. It's hot inside the building. We've already seen 3 good fights on the undercard set, but our main event tonight is going to be a good one. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Beto Duran alongside Steve Kim and Doug Fisher. And Doug, right away, our main event, Antonio Gutierrez, Jorge Melendez, Mexico, Puerto Rico, and Tony's coming off a tough loss.
Yeah, he's coming off a tough loss, but he's proven to be worthy of a 10-rounder main event because his last fight in June was against a very reliable gatekeeper in the middleweight division, Gabriel Rosado. And coming into this fight, nobody gave Gutierrez a chance, including me, because the last time I saw him, he lost a 6-rounder. Made me think entertaining guy from Tijuana, but 6 rounds is his limit. He proved everybody wrong, dropping the former 2-time middleweight title challenger Rosado and battling hard to the final bell. He proved that he is a 10-round fighter. He proved he's ready to fight in a main event. And tonight, against Jorge Melendez, he faces a man from Puerto Rico who had a far more extensive amateur background and is the better puncher.
Melendez went a couple pounds overweight. There was back and forth after the weigh-in. A little bit of animosity. See if that carries into the ring tonight. Then our co-feature, as Steve Kim wrote a lot about on UCL Live this week, Christian Chimpa Gonzalez, 20-year-old who has 14-0 record, 12 KOs, but he always has that big smile. You don't see that on a boxer.
Well, Shanice once said it a long time ago, I like your smile, as I date myself. But that's last time we saw him, he actually was pushed to distance here at the StubHub Center, fighting June 4th underneath Salido and Vargas. And you see what he does here. Very heavy-handed fighter, lanky physique, but he's a kid that has natural heavy hands. And they say about punchers, they are born, they are not made. He's 14-0, and he's made a big step from when we first saw him back in March of 2015, where quite frankly, guys, back then he looked much more like a suspect than a prospect.
Antonio Gutierrez, Jorge Melendez, the main event. Christian Gonzalez, Jonathan Corrales, the co-feature. And it all opens up with a fighter who a year ago was the opponent. Nobody knew about him coming out of Chihuahua. Now Oscar Duarte is making some noise for himself in the Golden Boy family. He sat down with the Ring TV Live cameras.
My parents would take me to all sports, to basketball, to football, and to baseball. And putting on the gloves with my friends like that just really thrilled me, so I wanted to get into boxing. And once they took me in the gym, I told my coach I want to go sparring. Since the first time I got into the ring, I enjoyed it and I decided that this was going to be my sport. I always wanted to be part of a Golden Boy boxing event. And when I first got the opportunity, I felt such energy and motivated. Since the very beginning, I knew I was going to go against a tough and undefeated opponent. But I felt confident because I knew I was prepared. And I have the qualities to get the victory. To not having a promoter and being not as active as I wanted to be, to now having a good promoter and great managers. You can't help it but be more happy and motivated. If I worked hard before, now I get to work even harder. I know sometimes you get frustrated when you don't have the fights and the opportunities. But when that opportunity comes, grab it and be ready for it. Well, my dream is to be world champion one day, just like everyone dreams. I know that it's not easy, but it's not impossible.
Oscar Duarte, Parral, Chihuahua, Mexico. That's where he's from. His opponent tonight, Rafael Reyes from Tamaulipas. That's also the northern part of Mexico. There he is. That's Oscar Duarte, trained by Joel Diaz. That's Joel Diaz Jr. in the Nike hat with the red one. UNLV student, sophomore, helping his dad in the corner tonight. As Joel is really high on this young fighter, Oscar Duarte, who fought 2 weeks ago.
I love that. Yeah, the very last Belasco show, the very last LA Live show, Duarte was featured on the undercard, and he scored an unexpected first-round knockout. So it was quick work. He didn't hurt his hands. He didn't suffer any cuts. Why not bring him right back? That's old school. We see some highlights from some of Duarte's previous LA Fight Club appearances. That was a beautifully timed right hand, knocking the mouthpiece out of his opponent here. I believe this was his second time fighting at LA Fight Club. And that was his last appearance here at Belasco Theater, and he just blasted his opponent out within the first round.
And it seems like, Steve, that the chemistry between Oscar Duarte and Joel Diaz is a very good one.
Joel Diaz, for him, there is life after the Desert Storm. Tim Bradley, he believes he has about 6 or 7 young prospects like Duarte, including Virgil Ortiz and Cesar Diaz. He thinks can go all the way. He is very excited about the future, not only of his stable, but also of his bankroll.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, he's protecting his future bankroll. He's investing in it by investing in these young fighters, by having them fight so often.
Yes.
Joe Martinez is ringing out for tonight.
Cuatro asaltos en el peso ligero. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, 4 rounds of boxing. This in the lightweight division. Los tres jueces por ese combate, the 3 judges scoring this bout at ringside, Raúl Caes, Jonathan Davis, and Max DeLuca. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, encargado de ring, el referee, Zach Young. Presentaron primero la esquina azul, con los pantaloncillos azul con dorado y un peso de 135 libras. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. Wearing tonight blue, trimmed in gold, he weighed in officially 135 pounds. Con un récord de 6 victorias, 8 derrotas y 5 ganadas por nocaut. His professional record stands at 6 victories with 8 defeats, 5 wins by way of knockout. De Tamaulipas, México, presentando Rafael Reyes. Y sobre en la esquina roja, con los pantaloncillos blanco con negro y un peso igual de 135 libras. His opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wears white trimmed in black, and he too weighed in officially 135 pounds. Con un récord perfecto de 6 victorias, 0 derrotas, 1 empate y 3 ganadas por nocaut. He stands perfect with 6 victories, no defeats, 1 draw, and 3 wins coming by way of knockout. Presentando de Parral, México, el invicto, Oscar Duarte.
También de aquí, ya hablamos sobre las reglas, entonces no hay nada más que decir.
Tail of the tape for tonight, 4-round match.
Duarte is 5 years younger at age 20. He's 2 inches taller, and their reach is equal.
Okay, Raul.
Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, and Steve Kim. 3 sharp-dressed men ready to go, as Jimmy Marino is telling us. And make sure you use the hashtag RingTVLive. You're watching this on a mobile device, you're online, that means you're savvy, that means you're a cord cutter, that means you know what's up. Send us your tweets using the hashtag RingTVLive. Also, I'm Duran, Dougie Fisher, IE, and Steve, UCN Live. A good night of boxing coming your way. And it's going with Oscar Duarte, Parral, Chihuahua, Mexico. He's in the white trunks, coming off a first-round KO August 19th. His opponent, Dinamita Reyes, fought in May, where he was stopped at the 2nd round of a fight in Minnesota. Veteran fighter, 6 and 8. Typical Mexican, have the gloves, will travel, will go anywhere from 130 to 135. As Duarte swinging wild. Both of them are swinging wild, opening up this bout.
Yeah, and they're putting some power behind these shots.
Reyes said he knows about Duarte because he's from Tamaulipas. Both these fighters from the northeastern side of Mexico. If you look at the U.S. map, look at Texas, look south, and that's where they're from. Oh, good left from Reyes, 2 of them.
Early on from Duarte, you could really see him putting a lot of weight on that front foot and turning with that left hook. He is really sitting down with that punch.
Gonna have to be careful with Reyes because he does punch from odd angles at times, and he appears to have good hand speed.
The left from Duarte, he's in the white trunks. Duarte working in Coachella now with Joel Diaz, sparring with everybody in that stable. These guys are just loading up and exchanging here halfway through the first round.
You can hear it. You can hear the snap on the end of the punches whenever they land.
It was supposed to be 6, got dropped down to 4. I don't think any of them want to go more than 1.
Duarte has had to walk through some fire here. He's covering up pretty well, but he's also getting clipped a few times.
Minute to go in the opening round.
Duarte has always shown solid whiskers, at least thus far early in his pro career.
Well, Doug, with this type of style where he's going to be on the front foot a lot, he's going to really power punch and really dig in with his shots. He's going to have to move a little bit more in terms of his head movement and his upper body, and I think that's where those rough edges are going to have to be smoothed off by Joel Diaz.
Yeah, he's not exactly light on his feet. He's pretty flat-footed, and his upper body is pretty stiff.
Right.
That head is just always above the shoulders, which are always right above his hips.
Ooh.
It's not moving.
That was a good right hand there by Reyes.
Reyes has caught him a couple of times.
Reyes is a very fluid puncher. I mean, his technique isn't very crisp, but he lands, and there's a lot behind these shots.
You know, going into round number 2, if I'm Joel Diaz, I request very forcefully that Duarte may move in with the jab a little bit more here in the second round.
Very close first round.
Good opening round. And Oscar Duarte, Rafael Dinamita Reyes has learned more about these two.
So he's been a professional since 2010. However, there was a hiatus from boxing, I believe. He was out for a number of years. 4 knockouts in 2 rounds or less, so the power is there. 5 knockouts and 6 victories, so it's not tapping in there, Steve.
No.
And of course, we are familiar with Oscar Duarte. This is his 4th fight at Belasco Theater. He gets a little bit better with each LA Fight Club appearance. It looks like he's got his work cut out for him tonight. He is a 3rd-year engineering student, so he has that in common with Lamont Roach Jr., who fought earlier.
I mean, usually you're a boxer because you don't want to go to school.
Exactly. Well, see, if they ever fight each other, the loser has to finish school before he competes in his next pro bout.
And if you're an athlete and you want to go to college, you get the football degree, sociology. Come on, like they do at the U, Steve.
You know, sometimes it's more important to run a 4.3 than to have a 4.3 GPA.
Oh, no.
Let's see here in round number 2 if Duarte does a little bit more in terms of the jab. He throws a token jab right there. Style like that, he's coming in very naked, leaving himself to be a very flat surface, because you look at his 2 shoulders facing his opponent. That's what you call being squared up. Doesn't make you very elusive.
His opponent, Eduardo Rafael Reyes is his name. 1-7 in his last 8 fights. 4 of those 7 losses to unbeaten opponents. Going in there as a veteran, trying to give somebody some rounds and give him credit. It's going to ruin your record. You make some money off of it. He's accepted his role in his fate and what is going to be in boxing. That journeyman is going to come in and it counts as a knockdown.
Yeah.
He got stung, but it looked like a delay.
Yes, a delayed effect, and it might have been a short left uppercut that did the damage.
And I want to note here in his last bout, he was stopped in 2 by Ladon Barthélemy.
Duarte drops him here in the second. Pouncing right away, coming at him, body work, upstairs. Duarte in white.
You know, before that knockdown, I was about to say Reyes does not look like somebody with a losing record. Doesn't look like a 6-8 fighter, but maybe he's one of these guys, you call him a kamikaze.
Yeah.
They come out super hard in the first round, and if they don't get you out of there or change your mind about trying to beat them in the first round, then they get knocked out.
And he's also been stopped 4 times in 14 professional outings. Keep that in mind. And the one thing about Duarte, he has bad intentions with every punch. He doesn't throw a lot of throwaway shots as he digs another left hook to the body.
He's very accurate, or I should say economical with his punching.
Not even a year ago, we saw Duarte come to the United States, fight Popo Salinas, a highly touted amateur.
At Youngstown, Ohio.
The opening bout, that was September 18th. It was a kid who, as he told me, he had to lose 10 pounds to make weight because he just wanted to come to the United States because there was another fighter coming on that card. He said, let them know if they need an opponent, I'll be ready, whatever weight. Lost 10 pounds, came in, got the win. Roberto Diaz, Golden Boy matchmaker, asked him, who's your manager? He said, me. He said, who's your trainer? Me. Well, I want to work with you. Who do I talk to? Me. And that's where he is now. A few months ago, they connected him with Joel Diaz because in Chihuahua, the kid wasn't getting work. Now he's living in the United States in Coachella. He's now training with Joel. He's now eating healthy. He's now taking vitamins for the first time. And now he has a professional coach for the first time. And
he's looking good. And especially that left to the body. I mean, that is the key to his success here in the second round.
Good.
Look at some highlights here. So it was a left hook followed by a short left uppercut. And there's a delayed effect you see there, Steve, as Reyes reels back into his own corner. It almost looked like the fight was over. Reyes isn't ready to give up yet. He's still swinging back. But unlike the first round, Duarte is the one doing the majority of damage, and most of these punches are being landed to the body, particularly the left hook.
That started to become one-way traffic in front of Oscar Duarte. We take a look what is going on in the corner with Joel Diaz.
Va a venir el knockout. No te desesperes. Okay. El knockout va a venir solo. No te desesperes porque estás bajando esa derecha y te vas a meter un cruzado, güey. Okay. Vamos, vamos.
He said, he's telling him that the knockout will come on its own. Don't rush. I think he said don't rush.
He probably did. Duarte's not that kind of guy, though. He's
I heard a no in there, so I think. And Joe Sanchez Fournier in Puerto Rico is watching us. Thank you. There it is. The Puerto Rican is fighting later on tonight. That would be Jorge Melendez. That's our main event. But right now, Oscar Duarte in the white is taking on Rafael Reyes. Scheduled for 4 rounds, third.
Doug, just to take off on what you said, I think at the end of round number 2, he really started to fold Reyes with some body shots. I'd go right back downstairs if I'm Oscar Duarte, try to see if I can score stoppage here in round number 3.
Yeah, because you're going to take steam away from Reyes' punches while you break him down. You're going to slow him down. If Reyes decides, well, I'm going to use a lot of lateral movement to neutralize Duarte's forward marching aggression. And lateral movement should work pretty well against Duarte because it doesn't look like he's really adept at cutting off the ring, and he is kind of heavy of foot, kind of flat-footed. But if you keep eating body shots like that, you're not going to be able to move very well.
That's the one thing, and it goes back to that fight. I remember we were there live at the Garden September 29, 2001, Trinidad De La Hoya. When you have a guy like Trinidad that really steps on that left hook with all that weight on one side, lateral movement will give you problems.
Steve Razzo in Houston just landed at LAX watching on his phone in Uber. Appreciate you, Steve Razzo. That's dedication right there. En la familia de Oscar Duarte en Chihuahua, Tia Rox, Jose y Elba. Brother Carlos and Javier watching him in Parral, Chihuahua. Oscar Duarte in the white, Reyes in the blue. Reyes, Duarte actually, after his last fight, went back with Joel Diaz, and the next day had a bale hay. That's what he had to do on the ranch. Wow. Joel said, well, he didn't work that hard. It was the first round.
Nice, left-right combination. A 1-2 maybe from Duarte that visibly hurt Reyes. Duarte still can't afford to fall asleep. If his hands aren't moving, he needs to be covered up or he needs to move his head because Reyes can still pull the trigger pretty fast.
Pace has slowed down, but Duarte keeps coming.
But Reyes isn't as active as he was in the opening round.
Like we said, kamikaze. That's one of those guys just hoping to catch you.
You have guys like that, yeah. They're opponents and they're dangerous for one round.
Oh, the left landed by Reyes.
Because they have athleticism like Reyes, where they're fast.
Yeah. He landed left, ate a right.
Yeah, he was discombobulated momentarily, was tripping over his own legs. He appears to have got his balance back, but Duarte remains dangerous throughout because of his heavy-handedness and his accuracy.
10 seconds to go in the third round. It's scheduled for 4. Oscar Duarte, opening bout against Rafael Reyes. Velasco Theater, sold out as usual in the downtown LA Velasco Theater. Next fight coming up, Christian Chipa Gonzalez. Go to UCN Live and check out the good article written by Steve Kim about this 20-year-old from Buena Park.
Left hook from Duarte, a left uppercut followed up by a right, followed by a right. He misses with the right uppercut, gets caught with a hook from Reyes, but comes right back.
As Juan Gabriel is jamming throughout the Velasco Theater, DJ Ray getting it done. Rest in peace. All we need is some Noah Noah. Fourth and final round, Oscar Duarte and Rafael Reyes. How do you have it, Dougie?
I have it 30-26. Oscar Duarte winning the first 3 rounds, and of course he has a 10-8 round for scoring that knockdown in round 2.
I have it exactly the same way. We're going into the 4th and final round. It'll be interesting to see how he approaches this round, given the fact I think he has to believe that he's ahead. See if he coasts home or see if he tries to finish with a strong finishing round here.
Oscar Duarte calls Joel Diaz's compound the buffet. Because in Chihuahua, it was hard to find him quality sparring. Now he goes with Joel, and it's Virgil Ortiz, a young Golden Boy fighter. You want somebody heavier? Boom. You want a lefty? Boom. You want somebody with experience? Boom. He's like, every day, as they say in Spanish, se sobra. There's extra.
Yeah, no shortage of variety of quality sparring, and that's going to help him grow. And I'm seeing right here, at least the first part of this 4th round, he's moving his head a little bit. He's getting under some punches, not being so straight up, not just relying on a high guard as his defense, but movement.
And Joel Diaz has a microphone in that red corner. I'm gonna pipe in and hear some of that. Last round, let your hands go. Joe obviously thinking he's on HBO Latino right now. My Spanish too is starting to get a little rusty. Give me an uppercut in the middle.
Jab, jab, acomoda jab.
A jab.
That's good advice. Duarte was forgetting that primary punch.
Close the distance. Don't let him get out of their work. Good left from Duarte. Oh, body shot. That stung. That bent over Reyes. You heard him with that one. They're telling him. Double cross. Finish him, you're saying. Acábalos, finish. I should have taken speak Spanish. I just learned Mexican. You speak boxeo.
It makes sense. Yes, and I think you're accurately translating. Right, and I am really impressed with Reyes. He's not a front runner. He's not a kamikaze, because here in the 4th round, he's still letting his hands go.
You know,
he's
he's
still doing so with gusto.
He really is sneaky. He finds dead spots of Duarte when Duarte stops working to let his own hands go. But I think Duarte's carried most of this round. He's had a pretty good finish to this fight. Listen, there's no doubt about it. This kid is very fan-friendly. What Diaz is going to have to really work on is smoothing out a lot of the rough edges defensively.
They go 4 rounds of distance. Interesting to see how that one would have shaped out, whether it was 6 or 8 as they move and progress. Oscar Duarte.
That's going to be the next step, seeing Duarte in 6-rounders and 8-rounders.
Yep, and that'll be the next one. The home of the USD Trojans, and the temporary home, Steve, of your Los Angeles Rams. You and Ferragamo go way back.
Can I tell you something? You know what the similarity between me and Jared Goff is? We're both going to watch a lot of Ram games this year.
the views and opinions of Steve Kim towards everybody that's a season ticket holder aren't you know what?
I couldn't resist.
Those are shared by a lot of people, including Javier Razzo, season ticket holder and matchmaker for Golden Boy. Especially if you've been watching Hard Rocks.
Ooh.
Or as I say, Hard Knocks.
Yes. By the way, Beto, we mentioned Virgil Ortiz about a month or so ago. We called his pro debut. He's been added to the September 17th portion of Canelo and Liam Smith at AT&T Stadium. Very bright young prospect.
Yeah, they're going with the Texas kids in Dallas. Hector Tanajara from San Antonio's there, as is Joshua Franco. And tickets for that fight, more than 3/4 of them have been sold. Get them at goldenboypromotions.com. And also for you cord cutters, you people that are, let's just say that you've watched.
See from those highlights, really the story of this fight was the body work from Duarte. Reyes tried to go to the body in spots, but wasn't as consistent or committed as Duarte was.
Duarte reminds me of that old saying from Joe Goose and his belief. You could teach a guy to box, but you can't teach him to fight. Fighting has to be a natural instinct, a natural temperament. We know one thing about Duarte. It's obvious he loves to fight. Now it's going to be up to Joel to teach him how to box just a little bit.
To get that polish.
Yeah.
He needs some savvy in there. And you're right, he is a natural fighter. To look this solid at age 20, didn't have he had a good amateur career. It was a 62-4 amateur record, but not an extensive amateur career. And he wasn't an elite amateur. So for him to look this good at age 20, after just 7 pro fights, it means there is some natural boxing talent
And
there.
I like what they're doing. This is his second fight in 2 weeks. How do you make up for a relatively light amateur career with volume as a professional? That's how you do it.
And there's your Ram season ticket holder, Javier Razzo, with a goatee. Thanks to everybody watching us on Ring TV Live. You cord cutters, you know what's up. Go in and send us your tweets using hashtag Ring TV Live, just like Cynthia out at UCLA, watching always. Thought about coming, but traffic on a Friday, we don't get you. So why do that when you have Steve, Beto, and Doug to take you home and get you ready for Labor Day weekend? Also, toda la familia en Durango que nos está mirando. Verónica, saludos. Waiting for the final numbers to be counted. Memo Rocha, right there in the gray, is promoter, along with Gabriel Soto. And Pepe Gomez down in Cancun. They took a liking to this kid. They took a liking to him and said, you know what, we're going to invest some money in this kid. We're going to do everything we want to see in him. And there you see him, Oscar Duarte, Roberto Diaz. Roberto taking advantage of the fact that it's right before Labor Day, going all white.
Yeah.
The last time you could do this, Robbie.
That's the leisure wear of Golden Boy's matchmaker.
Our unofficial scorecards.
Very unofficial, but I had it a shutout for Oscar Duarte. I thought the first round maybe could have gone either way, but all 4 rounds for Duarte, so 40-35. He knocked a point off of Reyes' tally with that knockdown in round 2.
And Doug, I had it exactly the way you did. 40-35, a clean shutout, knockout, knocked down in round number 2, makes it a 10-8 round, and Duarte easily wins this fight. I thought this fight was very easy to call.
Yeah, he may have taken a few punches too many in the first round, but I thought he made the necessary adjustments.
And here's Joe Martinez. As you see right there, get the countdown.
Y ahora, aficionados, nos vamos a los secretos de los jueces. After 4 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Y todos de los señores anotaron el mismo 38-37. All 3 judges have it, 38-37. Your winner by unanimous decision, se mantiene invicto and still undefeated, Oscar Duarte.
Interesting. They say all 3 judges had it 38-37?
Yes, they did.
That means basically they had this fight a draw.
Wow.
And the difference was that knockdown in the second round. That's why he was up by a point, and that's why he won this fight. Interesting.
Pierre Rox told us de Parral, Chihuahua. Su sobrino is coming home victorious. He is now 7-0-1. Let's look at some of the highlights from this fight.
And as we do so, you can see why perhaps the judges scored 2 rounds for Reyes. He wasn't as consistent as Duarte, and I didn't think he attacked the body the way Duarte did, but he had a lot of eye-catching flurries and shots to the head like we're seeing right here.
Doug,
Reyes picked his spots to let his hands go, but when he did, I guess the judges took notice.
I thought the best two-way action was in round number 1, but I thought
I agree.
I just believe 2, 3, and 4. Most of the action was carried by Reyes. Not Reyes, but the guy that ended up getting the decision.
Right.
Interesting decision, though. 2 rounds apiece.
We're seeing some nice combinations from Duarte. Usually when he's in range, he doesn't just throw one punch. It's 2s and 3s. Missing with the right uppercut.
And then we'll be catching up.
Nice stiff jab.
Sorry, Doug, it's really loud in my ears right now, but I think Oscar Duarte is coming over with Joel Diaz.
Oh,
so we're gonna...
let me make some room.
Oh, no, it's a good time to catch your breath right now. As Oscar Duarte, Chihuahua, Mexico, is making his way over. Siéntate aquí, Oscar. Joel will take the other one. Ahí ponte estas. Respira, muchacho, respira. Breathe. Sit down, Joel. There you go. Ahí está la cámara. Ahí. Mira aquí. Oscar Duarte, Joel Diaz, Senior, because, Junior's got the shoe game going. So.
I know.
¿Cómo te sentiste en esta pelea? How did you feel with this fight?
Pues me sentí bien, hicimos buen trabajo en el gimnasio, nos tocó un rival bueno con experiencia y pues se nos estuvo presionando, pero gracias a Dios salimos con la victoria.
Worked really hard in the gym, had a rival who was really experienced, he brought pressure, and he's happy with the victory. Lo tomates en la segunda, pero salió fuerte ese muchacho. You knocked him down the second, but this guy came out really strong.
Así es, lo tumbamos en el segundo round, lo lastimamos, pero pues como te digo, era un rival fuerte y se levantó para seguir adelante, pero pues hicimos aquí la estrategia y gracias a Dios todo salió bien.
Yeah, he was strong. He came up in the second, got up in the second, but that was the plan. Stay with the strategy, and we got the job done. Joel, you've known him a few months, so I talked to you a couple weeks ago. You said you're really impressed with him. What have you seen in the gym from Oscar Duarte?
What I've seen in the gym, he works really hard. He's very dedicated. He's very determined, and most of all, he has power. Today, in front of him, there was a kid that was really strong. I never expect this kid to have power in his punches like he did. So
your opponent?
The opponent. That's why we have to make adjustments. In the gym, I have fighters like that. That's why we have to go back and remind them this is what you're supposed to do. And he did. He came back and he made his adjustments, and there he did.
You've only known him a couple weeks, so you've thrown him into the fire. Steve and Doug were saying how you have to teach him a lot of things that he didn't know in Chihuahua. Well, how does he receive that?
Well, there's a lot of things that are new to him, and it's going to take some time in order for him to establish them. You're not going to teach, especially in boxing. When you're stable already in your own stance, in your own habits, you're going to have to change them slowly, fight after fight. We made some changes in the previous fight, a little changes in this one, and I know he's only going to get better as we grow together.
¿Cómo te sientes trabajando con Joel Diaz? Cada día es otro día, ¿verdad?
Exactamente, no, pues muy contento y muy agradecido por todas las atenciones del coach, y sobre todo por los consejos que me da y el trabajo que hacemos en el gimnasio.
I'm happy with him, especially the counseling that gives me and the teaching that he's given me. Ahora, échale inglés, man. How do you feel?
Excellent.
Excellent. Ahí está la cámara. Mándale saludos a Tía Rox y toda la familia.
Sí, le quiero mandar saludos a mi madre, a mi padre y a mis tíos, a mis amigos, a Gabriel Soto y pues sobre todo a mi madre, a Memo Rocha y pues a todo Chihuahua y México.
All right, last one in English. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oscar Duarte goes back to Chihuahua. He's 8-0. Joel Diaz, another fighter with a victory tonight. Joel Diaz Jr. goes back to UNLV. And we'll be back with more from the Velasco Theater. Chimpa Gonzalez and then Tony Gutierrez. And a big special announcement. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Ring TV Live.
Los cinturones aquí se hacen a un lado. Hay que pelear por honor y por gloria nada más.
I've got to style like your length, there's no messing about.
Back at the Velasco Theater, Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, and Steve Kim. Before we get to the news and notes, we said we were going to have a big announcement for you. It's not like radio where they tease things and they don't pay off. It's not like on TV where you're like, oh, coming up next, and there's a commercial, and like, I don't want to pay attention. This is a good one. Canelo Smith, September 17th in Dallas, Texas. We are all going to be there. All three of us, along with Will Wright, are going to be there all week long. And Ring TV Live is going to be some special features. Behind-the-scenes factors, Canelo Alvarez, exclusive factors, exclusive details with Canelo. But for everybody who's a cord cutter, you always wonder, how do I watch a pay-per-view even though I don't have cable? Let's just say we've gone to those websites where the streaming is a little suspect.
Yeah.
You don't have, but now you can do it the right way. Go to goldenboyboxing.com and you can now buy the Canelo Smith pay-per-view for your phone, computer, whatever mobile device you want to use, and you can use it. Cord cutters, this is a dream come true for you. Quality broadcast, the same you would get if you were on TV. And not only is it going to be cool that night, the pay-per-view, but you're going to get some legends with it. The one and only Colonel Bob Sheridan and
Hall of Famer
Larry Merchant.
Larry Legend.
If you,
That's
listen,
your guy.
if you
Larry
grew up
the
right, if
Legend.
you grew up watching HBO boxing in the 80s and 90s and 2000s, Larry had a long run, and you miss him. Here's your opportunity to see the grand old man of boxing commentary back at it again.
GoldenBoyPayPerView.com is where you can order it. You can go and check it out right now, but of course, you know you're going to wait till about 6:29 to order it, but you can get that day. GoldenBoyPayPerView.com. Another thing that Ring TV Live is bringing you, new features, new ways of communicating with us. The reason that we have these shows is to get to you, the fans, great experience. Colonel Bob Sheridan, Hall of Famer, over 10,000 championship fights.
Yeah, probably more than anybody. Both guys are in the Hall of Fame, and they rightfully belong there.
And
they've paid their dues, and they know what they're looking at.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit right behind him, and I'm gonna listen to the Colonel. I'm like, okay, I just need to get a red tie or something like that.
You got the energy. You got that, Colonel. We gotta, we gotta get you a title.
I just need 10,000 championship fights underneath my belt.
You're on your way.
But now let's get to the news and notes, Steve. What is the main thing sticking out to you right now?
Well, okay, Ward Kovalev, everyone get off the edge. The fight was announced. Tickets have gone on sale. Whether you bought them or not, that's your choice. I always thought contractually everybody had to make this fight. I think, again, contracts don't get in the ring and fight, but I think everyone was painted into a corner. This deal was actually struck early this year. It was consummated. So November 19th, T-Mobile Arena, Andre Ward, Sergey Kovalev will fight. Doug, me and you will be there next week, September 10th at the Forum. I got to see Gennady Golovkin and Roman Gonzalez at the gym, and I got to tell you, if Quadras and Kell Brook, if they beat either of these guys, it won't be like Mike Tyson overlooking Buster Douglas. These guys, I think, are at the top of their game, and they are working very hard at the summit.
Yeah, I mean, they let you know why they are in the top 3, 4, or 5 of everybody's pound for pound. They put the work in the gym, and it shows in their fights because they just don't outclass guys. They break guys down like nobody else, and I can't wait to be there September 10th for the Little Drama Show, because that's terrific. Chocolatito is stepping up to his 4th weight class to challenge for a 4th world title.
We cannot forget April 15th, we saw a fight between Yoshihiro Kamagai and Jesus Soto Cross.
Right here.
That fight, they should each enter with a cap and gown because they graduated to HBO. They will be the co-feature on the second half of that day-night doubleheader. One note regarding Golovkin. Danny Jacobs fights next Friday night in the heavily anticipated rematch. With
a little bit of sarcasm there.
Sergio Mora. Gilberto Mendoza, we went back and forth DM on Twitter. Yes, we slid into each other's DMs, just professionally.
Of course.
He has said that he will now mandate that the regular WBA champion, which is Jacobs, if he should win, and if Golovkin should win the next day against Kell Brook, he will make that the mandatory fight.
And Mendoza is the president of the